My name is Rachel, and at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday morning in downtown Chicago, I was on my hands and knees scrubbing coffee stains from an executive's carpet while my mother emptied trash bins 2 floors below. The November wind rattled the windows of the office building, and I could see my reflection in the glass. 28 years old, wearing rubber gloves and my hair tied back in a messy ponytail. This wasn't where I thought I'd be at this point in my life, but life has a way of humbling you when you least expect it. "Rachel, honey, are you almost done up there?" My mother's voice crackled through my phone. She sounded tired, and I knew her back was probably killing her. At 56, she shouldn't have been cleaning offices in the middle of the night, but after my father passed away 3 years ago, she'd taken whatever work she could find to keep our heads above water. "Almost finished, Mom. Just one more office on this floor." I stood up, my knees aching, and pushed my cleaning cart toward the corner office, the biggest one, with a view of Lake Michigan that probably cost more per month than most people's mortgages. The nameplate on the door read, "David Chen, CEO, Horizon Investments." As I vacuumed the plush carpet, I thought about how I'd ended up here. 6 months ago, I'd been riding high as a marketing consultant, working from my apartment in Lincoln Park, making decent money. Then everything fell apart. My biggest client went bankrupt, owing me $70,000. Other clients followed like dominoes. Within 2 months, I couldn't pay my rent, couldn't keep my car, couldn't do anything except move back in with my mother in our small apartment in Pilsen. My mother had immediately insisted I join her on her cleaning jobs. "We're a team, mija," she'd said, using the Spanish term of endearment she'd picked up from our neighbors. "We help each other. That's what family does." So here I was, cleaning the offices of successful people while trying to rebuild my consulting business during the day. I'd been sending out proposals, making cold calls, attending networking events on 2 hours of sleep. Nothing was sticking. I finished the CEO's office and met my mother by the service elevator. She looked exhausted, her dark hair escaping from her bun, her uniform hanging loose on her frame. She'd lost weight over the past few months, and I knew it was from stress and skipping meals. "Good work tonight, honey," she said, patting my arm. "Mr. Henderson from building management said we might get another building added to our route next month. That would be an extra $500. I forced a smile. $500 for probably 15 more hours of back-breaking work per week, but I didn't say anything. My mother was proud of this work, proud that she could provide. Who was I to take that away from her? We rode the elevator down in silence, both too tired for conversation. As we exited through the service entrance into the alley, the cold November air hit us like a slap. I pulled my jacket tighter. "You go home, Mom. I'll return the cleaning supplies to the storage unit." "Are you sure? I can help." "I'm sure. You need to rest. You've got the dental office tomorrow afternoon." She nodded gratefully and headed toward the bus stop. I watched her go. This woman who'd given me everything, who'd worked 2 jobs my entire childhood to give me opportunities she never had, who'd celebrated every one of my successes like it was her own. As I loaded our supplies into our beat-up van, my phone buzzed. An email. I almost ignored it. At 4 a.m., it was probably spam. But something made me look. It was from Marcus Webb, my former college roommate's brother, now a successful real estate developer. We'd reconnected at a virtual networking event 3 months ago, and I'd pitched him an idea, a marketing strategy for repositioning older commercial buildings to attract tech startups and creative agencies. He'd seemed interested but non-committal. The email was brief. "Rachel, I loved your proposal. Let's talk about implementing it across my entire portfolio. Can you come to my office Thursday at 2 p.m.? This could be substantial." I read it 3 times, my hands shaking, and it wasn't from the cold. Thursday afternoon, I sat in Marcus Webb's sleek office in the Loop, trying not to look as sleep-deprived as I felt. I'd done my best to appear professional. Pressed slacks, a blazer I'd kept from my consultant days, minimal makeup to hide the dark circles under my eyes. Marcus was in his mid-40s, with gray creeping into his temples, and an easy confidence that came from success. His office overlooked the Chicago River, and I could see boats moving lazily beneath the bridges. "Rachel, thank you for coming," he said, shaking my hand firmly. "I've been thinking about your proposal for weeks. The way you want to rebrand these older buildings, create community spaces, market to a younger demographic, it's exactly what I've been looking for." He pulled up a presentation on his large monitor. "I own 17 commercial buildings throughout Chicago, Milwaukee, and Indianapolis. Most are 30 to 50 years old, struggling to maintain occupancy. Traditional office space isn't cutting it anymore. I need someone who understands modern marketing, digital strategies, and how to make these buildings relevant again. My heart was pounding. This was bigger than anything I'd done before. I want to hire you as a consultant for the entire portfolio. 6-month contract, $50,000, with the possibility of extension or partnership if it goes well. He slid a contract across his desk. I need someone hungry, someone who understands what it's like to fight for every opportunity. Your background, your struggle, that's exactly the perspective I need. I stared at the contract, my eyes filling with tears. I tried to blink away. $50,000, 6 months of financial security, a chance to rebuild everything I'd lost. There's one catch, Marcus said, and my stomach dropped. I need you to start Monday. I know that's fast, but I've got investors breathing down my neck, and I need to show progress quickly. Monday, I repeated. That was 4 days away, 4 days to completely change my life. I know you're working other jobs to stay afloat. This contract should give you the breathing room to focus entirely on this project. What do you say? I signed the contract before I could overthink it. That night, I told my mother about the contract while we ate leftover pizza in our small kitchen. She cried and hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. I'm so proud of you, Mija. I always knew you'd get back on your feet. Mom, this means you can quit the cleaning jobs. No more 3 a.m. shifts. You can rest. Maybe take that pottery class you've been talking about. But she shook her head firmly. No. This is your contract, your money. You need to save it, build your future. I'm fine with my work. It keeps me busy, gives me purpose. Mom, Rachel, I've been taking care of myself for 56 years. I don't need you to rescue me. I'm proud of my work, even if it's not glamorous. Her voice was gentle but firm. You focus on your opportunity. That's what would make me happiest. I wanted to argue, but I knew that stubborn tone. She'd made up her mind. Over the next 3 weeks, I threw myself into the project. I spent days touring Marcus's buildings, analyzing demographics, researching competitors, and developing comprehensive marketing strategies. I worked from dawn until midnight, fueled by coffee and the fear of failure. But I still joined my mother for the night cleaning shifts. She refused to quit, and I couldn't let her work alone. So I'd work all day on my consulting project, catch a few hours of sleep, then meet her at various office buildings around the city. One night, as we cleaned the building in the Loop where we'd been working for months, I noticed something. The building was in Marcus's portfolio. I was creating a marketing strategy for the very building I cleaned at 3 a.m. The irony wasn't lost on me. Mom, we need to talk about you retiring, I said, as we emptied trash bins on the 14th floor. Rachel, we've discussed this. I'm not ready to retire. But the work is killing your back. I can see you wincing when you bend over. She stopped and looked at me directly. Honey, I appreciate your concern, but this isn't about the money or the work. After your father died, I lost my way. These jobs gave me structure, gave me a reason to get up every day. They gave me pride. Do you understand? I did, actually. After my consulting business collapsed, I'd felt worthless, like I'd failed at everything that mattered. Work, even cleaning work, had given me a sense of purpose, a feeling that I was contributing something. By the end of my 6-month contract, I'd exceeded every expectation. Occupancy rates across Marcus's portfolio had increased by an average of 37%. I'd created partnerships with tech incubators, co-working spaces, and creative agencies. I'd repositioned his buildings as hip, affordable alternatives to the glass towers downtown. Marcus offered me a partnership, not just an extension of my contract, but actual equity in his company. Rachel, you've transformed these properties. I want you as my partner, not just my consultant. 20% equity, profit sharing, and full authority over all marketing and tenant relations. I could barely process what he was saying. 20% equity in a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio. This was generational wealth. This was security for my mother and me for the rest of our lives. There's one property I want you to take full ownership of, Marcus continued, pulling up a file. The building in the Loop, the one on West Adams Street. I'm transferring it to you as part of the partnership package. It's worth about $4 million, but consider it your stake in the company. I stared at the address. West Adams Street, the building where my mother and I had been cleaning offices for the past 8 months. My building. The building I'd scrubbed floors in, emptied trash bins in, cleaned toilets in, it was now mine. I accepted the partnership in a daze, signed papers I barely read, and shook hands with lawyers and accountants. The whole process felt surreal, like I was watching someone else's life. The transfer wouldn't be complete for a few weeks due to paperwork and regulatory filings, but Marcus assured me it was a done deal. I'd legally own the building by the end of the month. I didn't tell my mother immediately. I wasn't sure how to explain it. Wasn't sure she'd even believe me. How do you tell your mother, who's worked hard labor her entire life, that you suddenly own a $4 million building? We continued our cleaning routine. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, we'd meet at the building on West Adams Street and clean 17 floors of offices. I'd vacuum carpets in what was now technically my building, empty trash bins in my conference rooms, clean windows that overlooked my city. The building manager, Mr. Henderson, was a gruff man in his 60s who'd been managing properties for decades. He treated cleaning staff like we were invisible, barely acknowledging us when we passed him in the hallways. One Thursday night, as my mother and I cleaned the lobby, Mr. Henderson came storming over. "You missed a spot by the elevator last week," he barked at my mother. "I've told you people 100 times, attention to detail. If you can't handle the work, I'll find someone who can." My mother's face flushed with embarrassment. "I'm sorry, Mr. Henderson. It won't happen again." "It better not. You're lucky to have this job. There are 100 people who would take it in a heartbeat." He walked away, leaving my mother standing there, humiliated. I saw tears in her eyes, and something inside me snapped. "Mom, we need to quit this job." "Rachel, no, we can't afford—" "Mom, I own this building. As of 3 days ago, when the final paperwork cleared, I legally own this entire building." She stared at me like I'd spoken in a foreign language. "What?" I explained everything. The partnership, the equity, the property transfer. I watched her face cycle through disbelief, shock, and finally, tears. "You own this building?" she whispered. "The building where we've been cleaning offices at 3 a.m. for 8 months. Yes." She sat down heavily on a lobby chair, processing. I sat next to her, taking her hand. "I wanted to tell you sooner, but I didn't know how. And honestly, I needed to keep working here with you to remind myself where I came from. To remember that 6 months ago, I had nothing. To remember that work isn't beneath anyone, no matter what form it takes." The next morning, I called Mr. Henderson into what had been the CEO's office and was now mine. I'd spent the previous evening moving my things in, setting up my laptop, putting a photo of my mother and father on the desk. Mr. Henderson walked in with his usual swagger, probably expecting to discuss cleaning schedules or maintenance issues. His face when he saw me sitting behind the CEO's desk was priceless. "Miss Rodriguez, what are you doing in here?" "Please, sit down, Mr. Henderson. We need to discuss some changes to building management." He sat reluctantly, confusion written all over his face. "As of this week, I'm the new owner of this building. Marcus Webb transferred ownership to me as part of a partnership agreement. That means I'm now your boss." The color drained from his face. You're the new owner?" "That's correct. And I wanted to discuss your management style, particularly how you treat the cleaning staff." I treat them professionally. Last night, you humiliated my mother, your employee, over a minor oversight. You spoke to her like she was worthless, like she should be grateful to scrub your floors. I didn't know she was your mother. That shouldn't matter. Every person who works in this building deserves respect, regardless of their job title or relationship to ownership. Do you understand?" He nodded frantically, sweat beading on his forehead. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to apologize to my mother and every member of the cleaning staff you've disrespected. Then, you're going to work with me to completely overhaul how we treat service workers in this building. Better pay, better hours, and actual respect. If you can't do that, I'll find a manager who can." "Yes, ma'am, absolutely. I apologize for my behavior." After he left, I sat alone in my office, looking out at the Chicago skyline. The morning sun was reflecting off Lake Michigan, and the city looked beautiful in the golden light. My mother came in an hour later, looking nervous. She'd changed out of her cleaning uniform into regular clothes, and I could see she'd been crying. "Rachel, honey, I need you to know something." "What's that, Mom?" "I'm proud of you. Not because you own a building or made money or became successful. I'm proud because you never forgot where you came from. You could have quit those cleaning jobs the moment you got that consulting contract, but you didn't. You kept showing up, kept working alongside me. You taught me that, Mom. You taught me that honest work is nothing to be ashamed of, that showing up matters, that family means everything. She hugged me, and we stood there for a long moment, mother and daughter, two women who'd survived loss and hardship and come out stronger. So what happens now? She asked. Now you're going to retire from cleaning offices. But I held up my hand before she could protest. I want you to help me run this building, not as a manager, but as a consultant. You know more about what makes a building run smoothly than anyone I've met. You notice details, you understand what workers need, you care about doing things right. I need that perspective. Her eyes widened. You want me to work with you? I want us to be partners, Mom. Just like we've always been. You and me, a team. She smiled through her tears. I'd like that, Mija. I'd like that very much. Over the next few months, we transformed the building together. We raised wages for the cleaning staff and improved their working conditions. We created a tenant appreciation program, a community space in the lobby, and partnerships with local businesses. We turned it into more than just an office building. We made it a community. Mr. Henderson, to his credit, became one of our strongest advocates. He apologized to every staff member he'd mistreated and worked tirelessly to implement our new policies. People can change when given the chance. One evening, as my mother and I stood in the lobby watching tenants come and go, she turned to me. Do you remember what you said to me when you first lost everything, when you moved back home? I said a lot of things, most of them while crying. She laughed. You said you felt like a failure, like you'd wasted all those years building something only to watch it crumble. I remember. Not my finest moment. But you weren't a failure, honey. You were just in the middle of your story. The struggle, the cleaning jobs, the 3 a.m. shifts, that wasn't the end. It was preparation for something bigger. It taught you empathy, humility, and resilience. I thought about those months of cleaning offices while rebuilding my consulting business, of working alongside my mother while creating marketing strategies that would eventually make me a property owner. She was right. Every moment of struggle had shaped who I'd become. Besides, my mother added with a mischievous smile, now when tenants complain about the cleaning, you can honestly say you've done the job yourself. Not many building owners can say that. I laughed. She had a point. As we walked out of the building that night, my building, I looked up at the 17 floors of windows glowing in the darkness. 6 months ago, I'd been at rock bottom, broken and desperate. But rock bottom has a way of showing you what you're made of revealing strength you didn't know you had. And sometimes, the woman cleaning offices at 3 a.m. isn't at the end of her story. Sometimes, she's just getting started. My phone buzzed with an email from Marcus. He wanted to discuss expanding our partnership to include properties in Detroit and Cleveland. More buildings, more opportunities, more challenges. I smiled and put my phone away. That could wait until tomorrow. Tonight, I was going to take my mother to dinner at that nice restaurant downtown she'd always wanted to try. We'd earned it. We'd earned all of it.